I just watched the eighth short film of the Navarasa anthology series in Netflix, on Netflix, and it also happens to be the second last short film of the series. And it's titled Thunintha Pin, Veera, which basically means, which basically translates to bravery. And the whole plot surrounded around that one single word. And it starred Atharvaa, who was a military man, and it starred his wife, Anjali, who was named Muthulakshmi, his wife in the series, and Kishore, who was this Naxalite, who was his leader of this Naxal group, and he's called the Comrade. And so it basically goes like this. This guy, Atharvaa, who is a military man, is right there in the middle of the forest, and he has just been recruited by the army. And he's out there who's actually in action right away. And he's kind of, you can make it out that he's kind of this naive and gullible person, and he's kind of excited. He loves this adrenaline rush, but at the same time you know that he's not ready for it yet because he's just new to this job. And right as the movies as the film starts, you can see that Anjali is pregnant with Atharvaa's son, you know and the shot pans out to another scene where Atharvaa is stranded right there in the forest, or probably they're raiding. The whole team is raiding the place, and you can see that just a few minutes later they're attacked by the Naxal group, and he kind of retreats. He doesn't even attack, and then he tries to gather some sort of courage and goes forward and ends up accidentally shooting this Naxalite, this Naxal group's leader. And he's been informed to take him to the headquarters right away. And while he's driving, he ends up in this conversation with this Kishore's character named Comrade, and he ends up realizing that they have their own struggle, and they kind of like have a tiny banter, if that's the right word to use, just so that Kishore's character stays awake because he's injured badly and already losing a lot of blood. Now, this is what I did not like in the series, or in this film in particular, was that the soundtrack, in my opinion, was really bad, was under average for a concept that was so beautiful. I mean, all of these stories in this anthology have beautiful concepts because they have been written by Mani Ratnam, the legendary director. The sad part is he did not participate in directing any of these short films at all. And even in one of the interviews that he had with Film Companion, with Anupama Chopra and Bharadwaj Rangan, he mentioned that he did not want to direct even a single movie. And I feel like that has taken a huge toll on this series. Like I said, there are a lot of misses. There is some sort of void that needs filling. I would actually suggest, as a fan and as a critique, as a sincere critique, I would want them to, I would probably want them to give it a go again, because this was genuinely disappointing, because I feel like Atharvaa's acting was right under par. It just wasn't that. It just didn't do for me. Kishore has always been an amazing actor, and he did a wonderful job even in this one. But I just feel like Atharvaa, for some reason, was just so disappointing in this. And there were a few songs in this which just didn't make any sense, because I feel like when the actor is doing the job of acting, and when you know what the scene means, you should let it play its role, play its part. You can have a background music which is subtle and probably assisting the scene, but you do not need to have a song that explains the situation, because it just makes it it it's not a bloody caricature. It's not a bloody parody, you know. And for a beautiful story like this, I just wanted it to be uh, filmed in a much more sincere manner. I mean, I think this was one of the most disappointing uh, short films, in my opinion, in this whole anthology series, because it had probably one of the most beautiful stories, and they still managed to mess it up. Just my opinion. And what I liked about this was the whole setup and the way it was shot, obviously. This whole anthology series has been aesthetically well done. And kudos to them for that. The director of photography, cinematographers, everything, everyone, every single person on the crew has done an amazing job. I just feel that the execution in terms of portraying the story, the final cut could have been way better. I would have even excused if they did not do a good job, even in terms of cinematography, because I mean, they face a lot of logistical issues because of this whole pandemic scenario. Story and the way you execute it, that's what matters the most. And I feel like they could have done a much better job. Maybe, you know what, the next time Mani Ratnam should go and direct every single movie, because I feel like he'll bloody nail it. That does not take away the fact that these guys are amazing directors. I just feel that it could have been a much better story. The climax was supposed to be really intense in this amazing product. It was supposed to be the culmination of a beautiful story. But it again just didn't do it for me. Probably because of Atharvaa's acting. I don't know. So there's one more movie to go. Gautam Vasudev Menon's movie, which stars Surya in it. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give you the review right away. Bye bye.